Hello everyone. Good evening. Am I audible and visible? Somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's important and short session on Warren Hastings. Just a second, guys. Am I audible and visible? Please ping me so that I can begin with today's short session. Okay. Hello everyone. Hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. By now, we have covered different aspects and different topics of modern Indian history series. Previously, I have covered ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, as well as modern Indian history. So the question that crops up in the mind of every aspirant, then why now are we studying modern Indian history again? My friends, this is a part of a classroom series wherein I am trying to go in quite depth and detail. And specifically here I am going with the analytical perspective. Okay? So again, it's a short video of 20 to 25 minutes, but an important one. Okay? Many of the aspirants have a question, sir, don't we have a PDF of this session? My friends, I have already given the PDF of the Modern Indian History series on my Telegram channel, that is history_Alok Ojha. Here I am going in a manner as I go in the paid classes. Okay? So it's a request to all of you. Please have a pen and paper along with you so that you can note down the important points. Clear? I'll go in a step-by-step manner for easier understanding of the concept. If there is any doubt, any question, any query, please feel free to ask. So without wasting any more time, let's begin our today's session specifically on Warren Hastings. So, my question is, yes, my friends, who was Warren Hastings? Any idea? Time and again we have discussed about Warren Hastings, my friend, and I have made many videos on Warren Hastings as well. In the end, I'll tell you one more important aspect, like specifically the love story of Warren Hastings. It was responsible for introducing one of the invasive species in India, also referred as terror of Bengal, that is water hyacinth. It is also called as Kothurupana in local Bengali language. We'll also talk about why Warren Hastings fled from the region of Varanasi. What were the charges of corruption against Warren Hastings? Warren Hastings was the Governor General who was impeached from his position. He was removed from his post. Okay? Now, what kind of questions usually come up in the prelims examination? I'll give you a small example about this, guys. So please pay attention carefully. Consider the following statement about Warren Hastings. The first statement is, Warren Hastings introduced the dual system of governance. Okay? The first statement is, Warren Hastings introduced the dual system of governance. Second statement is, Warren Hastings laid down westernization of public services. Which among the following statements are true or correct? Both the statements are incorrect. Why? Because he did not introduce dual system of governance. In fact, he abolished the dual system of governance. And the westernization of public service was not laid by Warren Hastings, but by Lord Cornwallis. So who was Warren Hastings? What is his story? What administrative reforms did he come up with? Let's understand this in a gradual step-by-step manner. Okay? The entire agenda or the entire crux of the class is in this chart. And we are going to discuss majorly about this structure. Okay? Yes, Nagarajan, good evening. We have discussed Battle of Plassey, 1757 in quite depth and detail. followed by Third Battle of Panipat, which took place in 1761, and finally Battle of Buxar, which took place in 1764. Okay. After Battle of Buxar, it is said that Robert Clive signed Treaty of Allahabad with Nawab of Awadh, that is Shuja-ud-Dawla, and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. Correct? We had discussed this. So at that time, Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II said that I don't have any capital. I don't have money to carry on my specifically administrative activities. I'm just an emperor in the name. Robert Clive, on behalf of English East India Company, said, why are you worrying? I am giving you the money. I am giving you rupees 26 lakh to carry on the administration. And as seen previously, English East India Company is doing nothing for free. True, they might have some or the other hidden agenda behind their mind. Correct? Yes, good evening Deepak ji, good evening Zulekha. True, so they have some or the other intrinsic agenda. So what happened? They gave 26 lakh rupees, English East India Company, to Shah Alam II. And by giving 26 lakh rupees, they acquired permission. And what was that? The permission was specifically that give us the Diwani rights of Bihar, Bengal and Odisha. As a part of Treaty of Allahabad, Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II had to give the Diwani rights of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha to specifically whom? The English East India Company. Okay. Now, specifically at that time, Robert Clive had introduced dual governance or dual system of government. Now, what is dual system of government? Let's understand about this. Okay, a very important concept. Now, English East India Company, specifically it was a trading company. Its major purpose, it was a commercial company. Its major purpose was to carry on the trading activities. And it hardly had the knowledge of the administration. So as a part of dual system of government, English East India Company asked the Mughal Emperor and the Nawabs that you take care of the administration. And the administration at that time was referred as Nizamat. And we will take care of the financial responsibilities. We will take care of the revenue and the finances. So finances was referred as Diwani. So this is nothing but a kind of dual system of governance. Very simple words, the administration or Nizamat was being taken care of by the Nawab or the Mughal Emperor. And specifically, the revenue or the finance was being taken care by whom? The English East India Company. You can observe one thing, my friends. Nawab had all the responsibilities with zero powers. And the company had all the powers with zero responsibilities. And this is nothing but what? Dual system of governance. It was prevalent from 1765 to 1772. And dual system of governance came up during the time of Robert Clive. Clear? Now let's understand. There is a beautiful case, not a case, it's actually a thing that we need to analyze and understand. It is said that after Battle of Plassey 1757 and before Battle of Buxar 1764, for a span of 7 to 8 years, approximately 4.94 million pounds. Okay, 4.94 million pounds was being drained out. Clear? And it is said that company was suffering huge losses. And the higher echelons of the company, the higher officers of the company were considered as one of the wealthiest people in the world. And company was suffering losses. How come is this possible? So English East India Company presented a bill in the British Parliament at that time that we want a loan of 1 lakh pounds. So the British Parliament sanctioned the loan of 1 lakh pounds to the English East India Company. But the British Parliament thought that the higher officers of the company, they are among one of the wealthiest people in the world. And still they are seeking a loan of 1 lakh pounds, citing a reason that company is running into losses. Something or the other is wrong here. Okay? At this particular point of time, what happened? English East India Company came up with an act which is called as Regulating Act 1773. And as per Regulating Act 1773, we have seen the Charter Acts in quite depth and detail. Specific Governor of Bengal was appointed, who was being designated as Governor General of Bengal. And Governor General of Bengal was assisted in performance of his duties by a council of 4 members, or by an executive council of 4. We had seen that. So, as per Regulating Act 1773, Governor General of Bengal was being appointed. And the first Governor General of Bengal was Lord Warren Hastings. And as soon as Lord Warren Hastings came to power, he understood one thing, that corruption in the company is rampant. So it is said that he abolished the dual system of governance. And this is nothing but the dual system of governance which was being initiated by Robert Clive. Clear? Moving ahead. So he abolished the dual system of governance. Now what is dastak or free passes? Now listen to me. I had told you previously as well. Okay, suppose I'm a cotton trader. Let's understand this with the help of a simple example. I had given you this example when I was explaining the Battle of Plassey. I'll repeat this example for easier understanding of the concept. Okay, suppose I'm a cotton trader and now I have taken my cotton clothes from a particular place and I'm going to a market at a particular place. Now I have to go through 2 to 3 checkposts. Here, approximately, I had to pay 40% as duty. And English East India Company officials, they had dastak, or they had free passes, which was given to them by Farooq Siyar in 1717 itself. Okay, they did not had to pay a single penny as a duty or a tax. And this is nothing but dastak or free passes. Many of the English East India Company officials, they misused these dastaks. And this became one of the major reasons for corruption in the company. So what did he do? Warren Hastings, he completely abolished the dastak or free passes and introduced a uniform tariff of 2.5% to bring all the merchants on an equal footing. Clear? Moving ahead. So it's a uniform tariff of 2.5%. Warren Hastings, during his tenure, Regulating Act 1773 was passed. During his tenure, Pitt's India Act 1784 was passed. Okay. Apart from this, he started prepaid postage system. And it was nothing but like a copper, kind of a copper coin. Okay. And for every 100 miles, 2 annas were being charged per 100 mile. So prepaid postage system was introduced by whom? Warren Hastings. He shifted the treasury from Murshidabad to Calcutta. He introduced civil court and criminal court. Civil court was referred as Sadar Diwani Adalat and the criminal court was referred as Sadar Nizamat Adalat. Okay. During his tenure, it is said that Bhagavad Gita was being translated into English by Sir Charles Wilkin. Apart from this, Warren Hastings introduced Asiatic Society of Calcutta. So these are the important works done by Warren Hastings. One important point that we need to remember about Warren Hastings is he started the policy of ring fence. So what is the ring fence policy? Okay. And the policy of Wellesley, which was introduced further, that is subsidy reliance system. It is called as further extension of ring fence policy. So what is security cell policy? What is ring fence policy all about? Let's understand this. Listen to me very carefully. Now at that time, what happened? English East India Company, it had animosity with whom? The Mysore Sultanate, the Marathas, and the Nizam of Hyderabad. Apart from this, the Afghans, they were trying to encroach from the northwestern part of India. So at this time, Warren Hastings, he came up with ring fence policy or security cell policy. Now what is this policy all about? First thing, creating buffer states. Now what is buffer states? Let's understand. Suppose this is Kingdom of Mysore. These are the territories of English East India Company. Okay? This is Mysore. These are the territories of English East India Company. And here there is a buffer state. Okay, what will they do? So, as a part of security cell policy or ring fence policy, the territories of English East India Company should not touch the territories of Mysore. And for that, they had to keep a buffer state. Correct? So what will they do? They will not annex this kingdom. Neither they will annex the kingdom. So this will act as a buffer state. But suppose if they do not annex this kingdom, but Mysore decides that they will annex this kingdom. So in that case, again the boundaries of English East India Company will touch the boundaries of the Mysore. So what happened here as a part of this policy? English East India Company provided military assistance to this buffer state. And all the expenses were borne by the buffer state. Like there were many European soldiers who were stationed in the kingdoms of these buffer states. And who will pay for their expenses? The buffer state. Correct? So they will provide the military support. So in this manner, it is said that they created many buffer states. So like for example, Mysore, Marathas and Hyderabad. So now they will create a ring fence. They will protect their territories by creating the buffer state or security cell. And this policy of Warren Hastings is called as ring fence policy or security cell policy. Okay? I will repeat the points again within short. Please try and understand the ring fence policy or security cell policy. Okay? English East India Company, suppose it has animosity with the Mysore Sultanate, the Nizam of Hyderabad, Marathas, and from the northwestern part, the Afghans. Now, they wanted to create buffer states between both of them. Okay? So what happened? Like it was a rule. Their boundaries or their territories should not touch the territories of the enemy. So it was necessary to create buffer state. So what will they do? They will provide military support to the buffer state. And all the expenses were being borne by whom? The kingdom. So in this diplomatic manner, they kept their enemies aloof. This policy was used in the Anglo-Mysore War. This policy was being used in the Anglo-Maratha Wars. Specifically, it is said that Lord Wellesley came up with subsidiary alliance system. Many historians do believe that ring fence policy or security cell policy of Warren Hastings is an extension of the, this policy. Subsidiary alliance system is an extension of ring fence policy. Clear? Did you understand this, my friends? Okay, now let's move further. So I'll repeat the points again within short. Warren Hastings, the first Governor General of Bengal, abolished the system of dastak, abolished dual system of governance. Please keep on noting down these facts. Okay, abolished dual system of governance, abolished the system of dastak, introduced uniform, tariff of 2.5%. Apart from this, Regulating Act 1773 and Pitt's India Act 1784 came up during the time of Warren Hastings. All these wars we are going to see later on in quite depth and detail, such as Anglo-Rohilla War took place during his time, Anglo-Mysore War and Anglo-Maratha War took place during the time of Warren Hastings. Okay, he introduced prepaid postage system. What was the charge? 2 annas per 100 mile. Bhagavad Gita was translated into English by Sir Charles Wilkin during the time of Lord Warren Hastings. Okay, now let's understand why Warren Hastings was being impeached, although he had introduced so many administrative reforms. One more thing, he had transferred or he has shifted the treasury from Murshidabad to Calcutta. He had introduced a civil court and criminal court. Civil court was referred as Sadar Diwani Adalat and criminal court was referred as Sadar Nizamat Adalat. Okay. Now let's understand about the first Anglo-Rohilla war. And now let's understand what all scenarios led to the impeachment process of Warren Hastings. Now pay attention carefully. I'll explain the Anglo-Rohilla war in short. In quite depth and detail, I'll be explaining them when I'll be explaining the series of Anglo-Afghan war, Anglo-Sikh war, Anglo-Maratha war, Mysore war and so on. Anglo-Burma war. So pay attention. At that time, it is said that who are Rohillas? So Rohillas, they came from the borders of India and Afghanistan. They are Sheikh, Pathan, Pashtun, and they have a good stature. So they were employed in the army of Mughals as military commanders. But with the passage of time, during the later Mughals, the power of Mughals started declining. So what did the Rohillas do? Rohillas declared themselves as independent. And they settled in western part of UP, which is referred as Rohilkhand. Now what happened? Marathas at any cost wanted to take revenge from Rohillas. Okay. And Rohillas were confident that we are not able to defeat the Marathas single-handedly. So what did these people do? Rohillas, they sought assistance. From whom? The Nawab of Awadh. And the Nawab of Awadh was Shuja-ud-Dawla. Now the question comes, why will Nawab of Awadh help the Rohillas? Rohillas said that we will give you 30 to 40 lakh rupees for this. So the combined army of Nawab of Awadh, led by Shuja-ud-Dawla and Rohillas, defeated Marathas. And when the time came, when the Nawab of Awadh said, now give us the money, Rohillas said, what money? Shuja-ud-Dawla, now he knew one thing, that I have to take revenge at any cost. And I am unable to defeat the Rohillas single-handedly. So what did he do? Shuja-ud-Dawla, he sought assistance from Warren Hastings. And Warren Hastings was an intelligent personality. What did Warren Hastings do? Warren Hastings thought that, specifically, English East India Company is concerned with policy of imperialism. And once I acquire the territories of Rohillas, English East India Company would be happy for this. Because I have extended their territories. But they don't know one thing, that I have got 40 lakh rupees for this. One case. Second important case, everyone of you might have heard about this, the case of Maharaja Nand Kumar. Okay, I'll give you a small example. Nand Kumar, he was given the title of Maharaja by the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. Apart from this, he has also supported Siraj-ud-Dawla in the Battle of Plassey. In fact, Robert Clive, he has given him the title of Black Colonel. And with the passage of time, Maharaja Nand Kumar acquired higher position in the English East India Company. Now let's understand about how Maharaja Nand Kumar highlighted the cases of corruption against Warren Hastings. As I've told you previously, that Governor General of Bengal was assisted in performance of his duties by a council of 4 members. So at that time, when Warren Hastings was the Governor General, it is said that his council consisted specifically of Clavering, Philip Francis, okay, George Monsoon, and Richard Barwell. Okay, So Warren Hastings plus this council. So Maharaja Nanda Kumar, he highlighted the case of corruption in front of the council. Maharaja Nanda Kumar said to the council that specifically to appoint Maharaja Nanda Kumar's son as a diwan, his name was Gurdas. Okay, this person, Warren Hastings, has taken a bribe of 1 lakh rupees to appoint what we say guardian of the minor Nawab. Specifically, Warren Hastings has taken 2.5 lakh rupees as a bribe from Munni Begum. So, Maharaja Nanda Kumar told about the entire case to whom? Philip Francis. Philip Francis suggested him one thing, why don't you take the case in front of the council? The case was taken in front of the council. All the three, Clavering, Philip Francis and George Monsoon, were against Warren Hastings, except one person, whom? That is Richard Berwell. So Richard Berwell said, why don't you take the case to the Supreme Court? And later on it was decided that the council here would be headed by not Warren Hastings, but the council would be headed by Clavering. After a detailed investigation, after a detailed scrutiny, it is said that there were heavy charges of corruption against Warren Hastings. And it is said that Warren Hastings was like he had to pay a fine of 3.15 lakh rupees. You can study the case of Maharaja Nanda Kumar. I've made a short video on that as well. So please go through that video. So specifically he had to pay a fine of 3.15 lakh rupees. So from now onwards, Warren Hastings had a bitterness against whom? Maharaja Nanda Kumar. And he was finding every opportunity to get Maharaja Nanda Kumar punished on the petty charges of forgery. It is said that Maharaja Nanda Kumar ji was being executed. He was being, what we say, killed. And now Warren Hastings, he became the first Governor General to be impeached. He was being removed from his position. I have made a short video on this. Please go through that as well. Even I have made a short video on why Warren Hastings fled from the region of Varanasi. Okay. Now let me tell you in short about how Warren Hastings introduced the terror of Bengal. Okay. Now listen to me. A small example I'll give you. There's a love story of Warren Hastings. Now, approximately around 1769, 1770, Warren Hastings, he was coming to India for the second time. Few years later, approximately 4 to 5 years later, he was made the Governor General of Bengal. And when he was 37 years of age when he was coming to India for the second time. And he was on the ship like few months before his wife Mary had passed away. And on the ship, he fell in love with a lady whose name was Mariam Imhoff. And Mariam Imhoff was approximately 22 years of age. This has been, the entire story has been highlighted in the book of Murray. Okay, so she was approximately 22 years of age and she was mother of 3 children. Love blossomed. Her husband, Karl Imhoff, specifically he was a painter and he was coming to India at that time. After some time, her husband comes to know about the entire love story and both of them get divorced. So Warren Hastings get married to Mariam Imhoff. Apart from being beautiful, she also had an aesthetic outlook. So it is said that she had seen a purple flower specifically in the Amazon basin. And she loved that flower. And she requested specifically Warren Hastings that please get me this flower from the region of Amazon basin. Warren Hastings did not know about this, that it's an invasive species. So Warren Hastings got this purple flower. Okay. And he got this purple flower and brought it to India. And this is referred as terror of Bengal. In very simple word, this flower was referred as water hyacinth. You might have heard about this. So this is in short about Warren Hastings. Here I have discussed the points in quite depth and detail. What is dual system of governance? Why it was being abolished? We have discussed this in quite depth and detail. What is security cell or ring fence policy that was adopted by Warren Hastings? Again, we have discussed this in quite depth and detail. Okay. Tomorrow's session, I would be discussing about Lord Cornwallis, who laid down the westernization of public service. Apart from this, we will also discuss the steps that was taken by Lord Wellesley and specifically the subsidiary alliance system. Again, tomorrow's session won't be much lengthier. It would be 25 to 30 minutes session. Okay. So please please do come to the specifically tomorrow's session as well, because it's an important one. My friends, as a part of Great Indian Festival Sale, StudyIQ IAS English has come up with Resolution October batch. Okay. And precisely speaking, the batches are available in English, Hindi and English. Most important aspect here is there is a separate batch for English. And this will cater to the needs of the aspirants from the southern part of India and northeastern India. It's a batch for 2027. Those aspirants, those who are targeting next to next year, that is 2027. And the prices are quite affordable in comparison to the hefty prices of the offline classes in Delhi. And the price is 18,999. Please do visit the website of StudyIQ English, and there you can explore the courses in quite depth and detail. More than 1,000 hours of live and recorded classes, proper MCQs, proper answer writing techniques. Apart from this, mentorship. You can directly interact with the faculties, ask your doubts. The answers would be evaluated by the mentors and a genuine feedback would be given to the aspirants. And the sale is ending on 11th of October. I repeat, it is ending on this Saturday, that is 11th of October. So please do use the code Alok Live that is flashing on your screen. I repeat the code Alok Live. Hope the point is clear, my friends. Okay, tomorrow, Lord Wellesley, Subsidiary Alliance System and Lord Cornwallis. Again around 3:45, 3:30 or 4 p.m. Clear, my friends? Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, Reshmi. So, I'll stop my words for the day. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.